If it's a plus sign, then the signs are the same. Okay, and how you determine what sign that is, you look back at the one right before it. So this plus sign only means that the signs are the same. Now look right before it, so they're both going to be pluses. Then they'd both be minuses. So if this is a plus, that means the signs are the same. Then you look back at the other one to see what that is. So this one is going to be a plus and a plus because of that guy. Now, if this is a plus sign, you need to think adding. Think add. Okay? Okay, so if it's a plus sign in there, signs are the same. Look back at the other one to find out what it is. And you need to think adding in the end. Okay, so now if it's a minus, then you got one of each sign. One of each sign. And you need to think subtraction. And the thinking parts will come in when I explain it more. Okay, backwards FOIL. So first times first. Well, what's the only thing times the only thing that can get me back to x squared? X and x, right? Okay. The middle term is the part that's hard, the O and the I. Okay, so a lot of times I'll tell people to just draw in your two loops because this will be your insides. This is your outsides. That's the O and the I in your oil, right? And FOIL. Okay. Factors of 6. Well, 1 and 6. What else?
3 and 2.
Yep, 2 and 3. 3 and 2, whichever one, how you want to say it. Okay. Remember I said to think adding here? If there's just a 1 in front of this x squared, life is really easy. Think adding. Which one of these are going to add to get you that middle term of 5? 2 and 3. So if I put a 2 here and a 3 here, I'm going to check it with my little loops, with my O and my I loop. Well, 2 times x is 2x. 3 times x is 3x. Does that give me a 5x?
Drill with this tire, they soft lockdown drills. You just please go in soft lockdown again.
Okay. Does that get me to that 5x that I needed?
Yes.
Yeah. And then 2 times 3 was 6. Do you see how it got back there?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try another one. Now, if there's a term out in front here, what I say is it's guess and check at this point. So my factors of 3 are 1 and 3. Okay. Factors of 8, 1 and 8, and 2 and 4. Since it's only 1 and 3, that's the only options. I'm going to put a 3x and a 1x.
Wait, what are we trying to get to? I'm sorry.
Okay. I have to get to 3 in here. So first times first has to get me back to here. The only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So I'm going to put a 3x and a 1x. Now, do I have to put the 1 in front of the x technically? No. Okay. All right. Now, this sign means that they're the same. This means that they're both going to be negative. Okay. So you have to think adding when it's a plus sign there. Now, I'm going to tell you from my many years of experience here, you start with the ones that are closest together, because generally those are the ones that are correct. So I'm going to start with the 2 and 4. I'm going to put 2 here and 4 here. I'm going to draw in my loops because this is guess and check. Negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2x. 3 times the negative 4 is a negative 12x. Did that get me back to negative 14?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I got it on my first chance. That's not always going to happen. If the 2 and 4 didn't work, because there's this number out in front, you have to try 4 and 2. You have to flip them. Okay, then if both of those didn't work, then you try 1 and 8, and then 8 and 1. We're going to do a whole bunch together, so let's get out your worksheet, and then we'll keep going. All right, number 1. This sign means that they're the same. This means that they're both going to be negative. Okay? Life is easy when there's no number in front of that x squared. The only options I have are x and x. You said they're both going to be negative, and you need to think adding. Factors of 16 are 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Think adding. So which one of these factors are going to add to get my middle term here?
The middle one. 2 and 8.
2 and 8, yeah. So 2 and 8. Done. Now, if you're worried that it's not right, you can draw in your O and your I loops. That's a negative 2x, that's a negative 8x. Oh, that works. A negative 2 and a negative 8 together make a negative 10. Okay. Number 2, life is going to be good on this one because there's nothing in front of that x squared. The only way to get to x squared is x and x. This plus sign means the signs are the same. This plus sign means that they're both, try again, both positive.
Oh.
Now you have to think adding, exactly. Factors of 40, 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 4 and 10, 5 and 8. Think adding because this sign's a plus.
2 and 20.
2 and 20 are going to get you to 22. Boom. Next. This sign means that the signs are the same. This means that they're both adding. So x plus x plus. Factors of 8 are 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. Think adding because this sign's a plus. 1 and 8 is going to get you to 9.
So if the sign's a negative, do you have to consider?
We're going to get there, aren't we? Okay, number 4. This means that they're the,
Same.
and they're both going to be negative. So x minus, x minus. Factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Remember, you're still thinking adding because this sign's an adding. Which one's going to add to get me 5? 2 and 3.
So do we have to think to do as negative 5 or just 5?
The negative comes in with here because a negative 2 and then the negative 3. Yep. Okay, now that you felt really confident in those, what happens?
Negative.
They always switch it, right? They switch what's happening. Okay. Now remember, if this is a negative, we don't think adding anymore. We think what? Subtracting. Well, what's my factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, right? We have to think subtraction to get me to 4. Okay. Well, 6 and 2. Okay. But remember, because it's this minus sign, remember you need one of each sign. So one's a negative and one's a positive. Now I want to get to a negative 4. So is the 2 negative or is the 6 negative?
The 6.
The 6 is going to be negative and the 2 is going to be positive.
So is it number going to be a minus 9 or minus?
This is a minus minus.
Only, okay, but like if you have 2 minuses up there, it's never going to be 2 minuses down below. I missed the first problem.
Okay. I can show you at the end. Let's do number 6. This plus sign means that they are what?
The same.
The same, and they're both going to be what? Negative. So we have x minus and x minus. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Because this is a plus sign, I need to think what? Think what? Adding. Which one of these are going to add to get you to 7?
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Why are we thinking adding that?
Because of this sign. Whatever sign is in front of that last term is what we think. This one we think adding, this one we thought subtraction. Now how we got the negative 7 is because they're both negative. And if I was to FOIL this out, x times x, x squared, then we have a negative 3x and a negative 4x, well that gets me negative 7. And then a negative 3 times a negative 4 gets me that positive 12.
Do you normally write like negative plus or like plus negative?
I change it all the time.
Okay.
I really
Does it
don't have.
matter?
Nope, as long as like on this one, that negative sign has to stay with the 6.
Yeah.
So like
Or
you can
to
write,
start with, like
right.
before you even.
when I have numbers in front of this, I don't even put the signs in until the very end. So let's go over to number 7. Okay. Am I thinking adding or am I thinking subtraction on number 7? Subtraction, my factors of 10 are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. I'm thinking subtraction, right? And remember, I need one of each sign because that's a minus there. Think subtraction. Which one's going to get me to 3?
5.
2 and 5, right? And which one needs to be negative if I want a negative 3?
5.
The 5. So I'm going to put a negative 5 and a positive 2. Okay, you're going to do 8 and 9 on your own. Let's skip down to number 10. I know. Now there's a number in front of the x squared. So we do have to consider this. 6, the factors of 6 are 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. Here's the good news. What's the factors of 1? 1 and 1, right? That's the only option. All right. So actually, this is like reverse of what we just did up here. So which one of those are going to, remember this sign means adding. Which one of these are going to add to get me 5? Okay, so I must have a 2x and a 3x. And you said the only options are 1 and 1. This means the signs are the same. This means that they're both positive. Did that work out? Sure did.
So when there's a number for the x, we use.
We have to do that. Yep, we have to do this on that side.
First?
Now, if 2 and 3 didn't work, then we'd have to use 1 and 6.
So the 2x times 3x have to be.
This yep, first times first has to get you back to here. Yep. So 11 is very similar to 10, so I'm going to let you do that one on your own. Let's go over to number 12. Let's go over to number 12. What's the only factors of 11? 1 and 11. So I'm going to put a 1x and an 11x because I know I don't have any other options. Now remember, because there's that number in front, this becomes a guess and check situation. That doesn't mean you're not going to use your logical skills to like figure out which one it is. I'm going to list my factors at 20. I got 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Okay. This means that the signs are the, so they're both subtraction. So do I think adding or do I think subtracting here? Adding, okay? This is a guess and check situation, so you need to draw on your loops, your O and your I. And what I always tell you is start with the ones that are closest together. So we have to start with the 4 and the 5. If that doesn't work, then we have to do the 5 and the 4. If that doesn't work, then we have to do 2 and 10, 10 and 2. If that doesn't work, we gotta do 1 and 20 and 21. But what you're gonna see is things are gonna make sense after you start doing it. So if I put 4 here and 5 here, 4 times 11 is negative 44x, right? And 5 times 1 is negative 5x. Is that going to add together to get 32? No, that doesn't make sense. Now, if I switch the 5 and the 4, is that going to help me at all? No, because 5 times 11 right away is 55. Can't get to 32 by adding. So you know, just looking at it logically, that 4 and 5 are done. So now we got to do 2 and 10. Well, if I put 10 here, that's 10 times 11. That's ginormous. Does that make sense? No. So let's put 2 here, and let's put 10 here and see if it works out. 2 times 11, that's a negative 22x. Negative 10 times 1 is a negative 10x. Does that add to get you negative 32? Yeah.
Is it fine if I just looked at it and saw 1x and then?
If you can see it right away, go for it. Yep. You're going to see the patterns. At least I hope so. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot more work.
We multiply the middles and then the outside?
Middles and outside. Yep, the O and the I. Skip down to 15 right underneath it. Okay, number 15. What's step 1 in your factoring? Yeah, is there something I can take out on number 15? Yeah, do that. It's going to make your life a lot easier. 5x squared plus 5x plus 4. Now, this is a fun, easy problem because there's nothing in front of that x squared. Because 3 is just that tag along. Goes along for the ride. X and x. Factors of 4 are 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. This means that the signs are the, and they're both going to be addition. You need to think adding here. Which one of these add to get me that 5 in the middle? 1 and 4. Looked like it was gonna be a hard problem.
Wait, but if you took the outside by each other, wouldn't it be 4x times 4x? Like, x
First times first, x squared. Then you have a 4x and a 1x, which makes a 5x. And then last times last gets me back to where I want to be. So like if you didn't take it out, I want you to take it out because it's gonna make your life easier, but you'd end up with 3x plus 3 here, or you'd end up with 3x plus 12. And then it would work. It still would work, it's just gonna look uglier. And it's gonna be a lot harder to find. 16, let's go do that one. Is there a greatest common factor on 16? No, unfortunately not. So remember, I gotta take care of the 10, which is 1 and 10, or 2 and 5. And I gotta take care of the 21, which is 1 and 21, or 3 and 7. Now I'm gonna tell you, because of my many years of practice, generally speaking, they're the ones that are closest together. So I'm gonna start with the 2 and 5. And we'll start with the 3 and 7. Okay. I'm gonna draw on my loops. That gives me a 15x. That gives me a 14x. Now, am I thinking adding or am I thinking subtraction? Can I subtract those to get 29? No. Okay. Well, 3 and 7 didn't work, so now what do I need to do? 7 and 3. So a lot of people like to do these on whiteboards so they can just erase it quicker. 7 times 5? 35x. 2 and 3? 6. Do those subtract to get you 29? Yeah. If the 35 is positive and the 6 is negative, right? Because you need one of each. Well, in order to make this 6 negative, that's that 2 times 3. So the sign goes right here. To make that 35 positive, the sign would have to be right here. So we got on our second try. That's pretty dang good. Let's skip over to 18. Anything that can come out of there? No. So I got 1 and 6 and I got 2 and 3. What's my factors of 7? Just 1 and 7. So that's good because there's going to be 1 and 7 or there's going to be 7 and 1. So we don't have as many options. Which one should I start with over here? What did I tell you? The 2 and 3. Yep. 2x.
So would it matter?
3x.
3x first?
Nope. Okay. We'll try the 1 and then the 7. If that doesn't work, then we flip them. 7 and the 1. Drawing your loops. This gives me a 3x. That gives me a 14x. Am I thinking adding or am I thinking subtraction? Subtraction. Can I subtract those two to get 19? Nope. So I got to switch around my 7 and my 1. And some of you might have seen it right away. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 1 is 2. Does that subtract to get you 19? Yeah, which one needs to be negative? The 7, because that needs to be a negative 21 and a positive 2. Good job. 19. Is there anything I can take out on 19? A 3? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make our life easier. Take out a 3. I'm left with 6x squared minus 7x plus 2. So now I just have factors of 6 and factors of 2, which is way easier than what I was doing before. So 6, I either have 1 and 6 or 2 and 3, right? And then 2, I have just 1 and 2. That's good. What should you start with first? The closest. Yep, the 2 and the 3. So 2x and 3x. Okay. Am I thinking addition or am I thinking subtraction? Addition, and they're both going to be what? Minus signs, right? Yep, good. So I'm thinking adding. So I got to put this 1 and this 2 in here. Do I put the 1 here, 2 here? I don't know. Which one do you think I should try first? If you don't know, just try something and draw in your loops. Well, 1 times 3, well, that's a negative 3. And that's a negative 4. Does that add up to get you negative 7? Sure does. If that didn't work, then you try 2 and 1. Then if that didn't work, then you'd go back to the 1 and 6. Don't like how some tells it. Let's go over to 24. Anything I can take out of 24? No, unfortunately not. Factors 8.
Did you just take out 2?
Unfortunately, that 19's prime. I know.
Sorry.
You're good. 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. Right? For 8. 6, I got 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. What do I tell you to start with? The 2 and 4. Okay. Okay. Using my logical reasoning skills, if I try 2 and 3 in here, that's fine. I get an 8 and a 6. Does that add, because I'm adding, remember? Does that add to get me 19?
No.
No. Okay. Stop before you keep going. Use those reasoning skills. I need to get to 19. No matter what I multiply against 2, that's going to be an even number, right? No matter what I multiply against 4, that's going to be an even number. Am I ever going to get there if I have 2 and 4 then? No. So 2 and 4 you need to get rid of. We need to go to 1 and 8. One x, 8x. Well, I'm going to try that 2 and 3 all over again. That gets me a 16. That gets me a 3. Do those add to get you 19?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that. Now, would it have hurt you to go through every single one of them? No. But if you can think about it and get rid of it quicker, you might as well.
Wait, I'm confused. You ended up doing it 2 and 3?
I did use 2 and 3 because this 1 here, when I multiplied against another odd number, gave me an odd number.
Oh, you changed your other one.
I changed my 1 and my 8, yeah. Because I got rid of that 2 and 4. Okay, we'll do 25. What do we know on 25? Take out a 5, yeah. That's going to leave me a 2x squared plus a 5x plus a 2. What's my only factors of 2? 2 and 1, yeah, so I have a 2x and a 1x. Do I have to put the 1 in front of the x? No. And again, what's my only factors of 2? 1 and 2. So either 1 and 2 is going to work or 2 and 1, right? Now, this means that the signs are they're both adding, so I need to think adding also. So if I draw on my loops here, if I put a 1 here and a 2 here, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4. Do those add to get you to 5? Yeah, that worked out. Now, if I would put 2, 1 in here, would that have worked? No. You'd have to flip it around.
Did you try to sign it?
26.
Oh, no.
26. Can I take anything out? No. Factors of 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Okay, factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Okay. Thinking logically again. Am I thinking adding or am I thinking subtraction, first of all? Subtraction. So I want my two numbers that when I subtract them to get me to 1. So they have to be really close to each other, right? All right, so let's start with really close to each other things. If I have a 4x and a 5x, which one do you want me to start with over here? The 3 and 4. Okay, so let's try the 4 and the 3. That gets me 20. That gets me 12. Is that going to get me a 1? No. So switch around your 3 and your 4. And maybe you saw that right away. So switch around my 3 and my 4. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 4 is, can somehow subtract, get negative 1. I know, they can wait a second.
Yeah, 6.
The 16 needs to be negative, the 15 needs to be positive.